All right, I think that works. All right, Doug. Go right ahead.
Well, I'm Doug Brown. My family's owned this mill for about 100 years. Had a woolen mill operation here until the mid-'80s, and since then have had numerous different tenants here at the facility. We continue to have our offices here, and look forward to a bright future. This dam has been identified as a problem, if you will, starting about 15 years ago. We had to make a decision either to remove it or maintain it. There really hasn't been any use for the dam in at least 100 years. I'm not sure that we had ever used it here. So that's what started the discussion. And my dad, who had been the kind of the champion of this effort, started reaching out and talking to different folks about what could be done here, and led to the dam finally being removed this year.
Excellent. Maybe we talked about this a little bit earlier, but maybe you can talk about the factors that led to your family's decision to remove the dam. Why the dam was removed.
Well, it was an old wooden crib and boulder dam with a wooden face to it, and it had been maintained, if you will, or rebuilt twice in my lifetime, and it was coming due again every year, every flood, every weather event leading to more deterioration. And it was going to take another large effort to rebuild it. Once again, I remind you that rebuilding a dam that really had no function, that started the thought of maybe perhaps removing it, which, as we found out over the next few years, involved all kinds of different discussions, both an engineering and a wildlife and a historical and a view discussion. So it really started out, from our standpoint, liability and cost issue, looking at that and analyzing it, and then kind of spread from there to a much broader discussion. Mm-hmm. And like I said, ended up with a very different look out here.
Very much. Did your family have any concerns about how the river would behave after removal?
No. We knew that the river, the impoundment, would change quite a bit, and it would be a very different look out here. But you got to remember that the water, when the dam was here, literally ran up against our mill. There were sections of the foundation that were basically riverbanks, so it could only get better from our building standpoint. Mm-hmm. And that's about as far as we took it. It was a problem for us, not an opportunity. Mm-hmm. And we certainly started to come around to the idea of getting rid of it altogether as maybe the answer to our problems.
Mm-hmm. How do you think the removal process went? Probably had some thoughts about how long it was taking and expensive, and
the process itself took a long time, and I don't think anyone foresaw that. As I mentioned earlier, the issues that arose from the discussion of just removing a dam were so much broader than we could have anticipated. Maybe anyone could have anticipated. Mm-hmm. We were fortunate that our discussions involved people who were thoughtful and cooperative and not obstruction oriented, and I can't say that enough. I mean, it's a lot of people had to come to the table at different times here to make this happen, both from a funding standpoint, but also a wanting it standpoint. And they did. And it took some years, but I think that it brought some people together that weren't used to getting together necessarily, like mill owners and nature conservancies and environmental services and so forth. All ended up becoming part of a very positive discussion and a result-oriented effort.
Right. What do you think of this stretch of river now running free? What do you see as the
I
possibility?
like it a lot. Yeah, I wondered myself whether I was going to like the new look because I grew up seeing, as many people did, grew up seeing the old look. And I've got to say that the proof will be in the pudding in the spring and summer when we finally get a full season. But it's thrilling to really see the real river here, and I think it's very nice. I think it's very attractive.
What advice do you give to owners of other dams along the Connecticut River watershed?
I think dam owners historically have considered their dams their own problem and kind of kept their cards close to their chest. I mean, they kind of figured that it was either their opportunity or their albatross, but there was nobody out there to maybe continue that discussion and help them maybe get rid of it. Like I said earlier, this effort brought together people who had been used to seeing each other at a very long distance historically. And what everybody finds out is they can all work together to get some of these things taken care of and become really a win-win, which this absolutely was. We're thrilled. I have talked to many people who are thrilled, even those that were a little skeptical early on. And they're thrilled for all different reasons, but I haven't heard anyone say that this was a mistake. I think that people are happy with this outcome.
Did the process get your family to think a little bit about the benefits of a free-flowing river?
It certainly did. I don't want to oversell our family's environmental effort here because that's not where we were coming from. We were fortunate to find partners, some of whom came from that side. We're all sportsmen, however, and we love it. We never thought of that. Historically, we don't look at this river as a fishing opportunity here, but we're thrilled with the fact that it may become a place where sportsmen can come and enjoy the water here. People didn't tend to do that here in my lifetime, and it's neat. I can't say that we came at it from that end, but boy, as an added benefit from our standpoint, we're thrilled with it.
Good. Hey, thank you very much, Doug.
You're very welcome.